we're going to look at the main cadences that we have for our chord changes. So these changes here are great because you're going to come across them, but there are some changes that are more important than others. These are the main cadences. So music's a language, and we have punctuation. One of the most important things for creating coherent musical sentences is to have musical full stops. So these are the two main full stops. You guys call them periods, I think, in America. Is it still the same thing as the UK? We call them full stops, yeah? So at the end of a sentence, you put dot, period. So, chord 5 to 1. This is the most important one because this is the one that you will find at the end of the song. And this is one of those things that you can think to yourself, you go, what key is the song in? If you look at the last two chords of a song, then generally you'll find that you go from chord 5 to chord 1 if it's in the major key. You'll find that that's what happens. And that last chord will tell you what key you're in. It's generally going to find it that this one chord will be your first chord in a song. And if it's got that 5 to the 1, for me, this is the Good Night Wembley sort of thing. So, you know, it's that... Good night, Wembley, you've been marvellous. Yes, that thing there. That is called a perfect cadence, okay? Perfect cadence. It's the finale cadence, and I think that's a good way of looking at it. The next one we want to look at is chord 4 to chord 1. This is called the Plagal cadence. Now, the Plagal cadence, as soon as I got explained this at music college, it made so much sense to me because it's like back in the day, I were a choir boy. I was a choir boy with the frilly white ruffs and everything. Okay, it's the Amen cadence, yes? Yeah, so you hear it going from the F to the C, yeah, which is chord 4 to chord 1. Amen. Amen. Wonderful cadence is that, yes? Okay. Bit of a tangent, actually. One that I really like, it ends up being borrowed from the harmonic minor. We can do something called a Plagal minor cadence. And all you do is, instead of playing a major, you change it to a minor to go to the 1. So it's a Plagal minor cadence. So if you hear that, if you've ever heard McFly's songs, all their songs do that. They always seem to have this minor Plagal cadence here. So I'm going to put that in there. Look at the spelling of the 4. Lowercase to 1. We call that a minor Plagal cadence. I've got the words wrong there. They're sounding a bit wrong in my ears. But this one is the Amen. And I call this the McFly. But it's still got a full stop sound as that chord 4 to chord 1. You could very much use it at the end of a song. So those are my full stops. Now I think of these as... Is it still commas in the States? If a full stop is a period, what's a comma? Now, with commas, we're not really going to the 1 chord. These are called imperfect. So we've got the imperfect cadence. And basically, it tends to be chord 1 to 5, okay? But this is where the rules get a bit sketchy, because the thing is, you can have an authentic imperfect, or you can have a half close. So I'm just going to put this there as being imperfect or half close. I could even go to 4 on that as well. Yeah, so this is like I say where the rules get a little bit sketchy. It usually occurs in the middle of your chord progression and not at the end, because if we did it at the end of a chord progression, so say I went so I was going from A minor to F, then I went to C to G. It doesn't sound finished, does it? You can see that. If I finish the song on that, where do we go? It needs to go back to the tonic. Now, there's one more left really that we want to think about. And this is the interrupted, right? We're going from the 5 chord to any chord other than 1. The name of this is interrupted, but I think in the States, you guys call it deceptive. So this is a deceptive cadence. If I do this C to F to G, and it feels like I'm going to go to the 1, but I don't. I go to any other chord apart from the 1 chord. Any other chord. Can you hear it's deceptive? Because I was like, oh, you know where it's going to go now? It's going to go to the C. No, it isn't. It's going to go to any other chord apart from the 1 chord. Yeah. So that's the trick that we get with that one, and that's a good one. I think I'll just put this on as well because I like the sound of this one. We take the 1 chord, and then you get this. Looks like a fraction at the side of it. And what this 6/4 means is it means second inversion. Okay, so it means second inversion, and then you can get something called a cadential 6/4 cadence. And basically, what that wants to do is that wants to go to 5 and then 1. Right, so it basically does a similar thing as interrupting. But just before you get to the 5, instead of using something that might be on this, like see here 2 to 5 to 1, what we could do is we could put a second inversion, a cadential 6/4, right? Here's the C. Let's play it in second inversion by putting the 5th in the bass here. So C/G. So there is the 1 chord in a 6/4, second inversion. But what ends up happening is the lowest sounding note is the root from chord 5. So listen. So we get that common tone in the bass that joins them together. Now I'm playing a simple G. I did this the other week in the acoustic chords, yeah. So, but when I land on that 1 chord, we're home. And that's the way that all works there, guys, okay?